Well, let's try to wind our way through the highlights tonight as the A's have beaten the Blue Jays 10-7 in 11 innings. The starting pitchers, Danny Herron for the A's and Josh Towers for the Blue Jays in a battle of right-handers. And Toronto took the first lead in the game in the bottom of the second with one out, back-to-back singles by Zahn and Hinsky, and Reed Johnson was up next. Here's the 1-1 to him. Swung on, ripped to left, base hit. Might get through. It does and goes to the wall. Zahn will score. Hinsky right behind him, rounding third. He will score. Johnson's going to third. There'll be no throw as he dives into third with a triple, and it's 2-0 Toronto. It would be a big night for Johnson's and a big night for the A's offense. Although the A's left the bases loaded, they had them loaded with one out in the second, failed to score. They had 2 on and 2 out in the third and failed. But in the fourth, against Josh Towers, with one out, Dan Johnson was up for the A's.
Nick Zahn, the catcher, working Josh Towers very well with the fastballs inside and outside. Mixing them up, as they say. He's going back inside now, the 2-2. And Dan Johnson unloads one. Wow, what a shot in the second deck here at Rogers Center. And Dan Johnson turned on it, hitting his third home run of the season. A line drive into the second deck here at Rogers Center. And he's cut the lead in half. The Blue Jays now lead by a score of 2-1 on Dan Johnson's third home run on a 2-2 fastball that did not get where Josh Towers wanted it. What did he crush it? You hit a ball like that, you've got to enjoy it.
The A's would quickly take the lead in the game as some very selective at-bats, taking close pitches by Kendall and Kotze, working back-to-back walks, setting the table for Bobby Crosby, and that had come after Nick Swisher had doubled after Johnson's homer. So Johnson doubled, Scudero flied out, Kendall walked, Kotze walked, bases loaded, Crosby at the plate.
All right, 1-2 the count. Bases loaded. Crosby waiting, trying to do something with 2 strikes and 2 outs. And the pitch. Line drive to right center field, and it will split the gap. In the score is Swisher. Coming around is Kendall. He'll score. Over to third is Kotze. And Bobby Crosby comes through with a 2-out opposite field single, and the A's have taken a 3-2 lead.
The Blue Jays would quickly tie it up. This is one of those up-and-down, topsy-turvy roller coaster rides of a ball game, as Toronto would quickly jump back in the bottom of the fifth. Orlando Hudson leading off. The outfield plays in toward left, and they're shallow. And here's the 3-2 pitch, driven to right center, up the alley, and nobody's going to catch that, and that goes to the wall. Hudson turning at first, going to second, going to try for 3, and he's going to make it easily with a stand-up triple. Hudson perfectly placed between the right fielder Swisher and the center fielder Kotze. The second triple for the Blue Jays tonight. And the Jays would quickly tie it up as following that triple by Hudson, Russ Adams delivered a sac fly to right field. So the ball game was 3-3 going to the top of the 6th inning, and then something spectacular would happen for the green and gold. A leadoff walk to Marco Scudero. Kendall hit a comebacker. Scudero taking second. Mark Kotze fly to left, and it would be a huge night for Bobby Crosby. A's and Blue Jays tied at 3, top of the 6th. 2 out, Scudero at second. Set, check back of the runner. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, driven to center. Wells going back, still going at the track, and it is off the wall. Wells crashes into the wall. Scoring easily is Scudero. Crosby's going to go to third. They're going to try to score him. Could be an inside-the-park home run. Here's the throw. It hits the mound. He dives across the plate for an inside-the-park home run. Bobby Crosby. Center field, off the wall, and it slammed off the wall, and Vernon Wells with a great try as he slammed off the wall as well. He played the ball back to the infield, and Bobby Crosby going all the way around for an inside-the-park home run. And here in the top of the 6th inning, the A's have taken a 5-3 lead. That was with Pete Walker pitching as Josh Towers went the first 4 innings for Toronto, and then Walker came on, went an inning and 2/3. He left after the inside-the-park home run as Walker went an inning and 2/3. So it was 5-3 after the inside-the-parker. Then in the 6th inning, Toronto would make it 5-4 as they would begin a stretch of 5 consecutive innings in which they scored 1 run. They would continue a stretch of 5 straight as they would score 1 more in the 6th as Hill led off with a double, and then later scored. He moved up to third on a ground ball to first by Zahn, and Hill scored on Hinsky's ground ball to short. So at that point it was 5-4, but the Blue Jays would make it 5-5. Orlando Hudson leading off, and that was in the bottom of the seventh.
First pitch to Hudson is hit hard to straightaway center. Going back at Kotsay near the warning track. He will not get it. It's off the top of the wall, and it is a home run.
Hudson's hurt.
Hudson's hurt. Oh, my.
He pulled a muscle or a cramp.
Yes, he did. And that has tied the game here in the bottom of the seventh inning as Orlando Hudson, who tripled in his last at bat. And you talk about a trot. This is a walk, as Hudson did hurt himself between first and second. Came up short, and now crosses home plate. The trainer helping him as Hudson has hit his seventh home run to tie the game at 5.
That came against Ricardo Rincon, who began the seventh inning after Danny Herron worked the first 6 for the Athletics. The A's would break the tie in the ball game in the 8th inning. Nick Swisher was leading off for the Athletics. At this point, the ball game was tied 5-5. Vinny Schultz, making his 31st appearance this year out of the Toronto bullpen, 0-1, a 3.82 ERA. He's allowed 32 hits in 37 2/3 innings. He's walked 15 and struck out 23. And this one to Swisher is drilled to right center, way back, and it is gone. And the A's have taken the lead. Nick Swisher drills one, leading off in the 8th inning. And now it's 6-5 Athletics. That's his 10th. Back and forth we go in Canada tonight. Schultz had come into the game for Toronto after Jason Frazier had faced 4 batters and retired all 4. It would be a very tough 8th inning for Vinny Schultz. He did strike out Scudero after Swisher's home run. Kendall bounced out. Kotsay was up next. 1-0 pitch. It's swung on and hit high and deep down the right field line. If it's fair, it's got a chance. Johnson racing in the corner, right down the line. Gone! Home run! The 4th of the night for the A's. Solo shot by Kotsay in the 8th. 7-5 Athletics. Number 6 this year for Kotsay. That was a towering drive that just snuck inside the foul pole, right down the right field line. Ricardo Rincon for the A's would face 2 batters, as after giving up the home run to Hudson, he got the last out, or actually got the first out of the 7th inning when Adams bounced out. Kiko Calero got the A's out of the bottom of the 7th inning. Calero was on in the 8th for the A's. With 1 out, Greg Zahn was the hitter for Toronto. 3-2 with 1 out, nobody aboard. The A's with a 2-run lead. Here's the pitch to Zahn. It's a deep right, way back. It's going to be gone, and now it's a 1-run game again. What a night this has been. No doubt about it. Greg Zahn into the second deck in right field. That's his 6th home run this year. 7-6 Athletics.
And Ken Maka is going to his closer to try to get 5 outs.
And Houston Street came on. He got the last 2 outs to the bottom of the 8th inning. The A's clinging to a 1-run lead going to the 9th. And after McDonald bounced out leading off in the bottom of the 9th, Russ Adams singled, then a base hit by Gabe Gross, and Toronto had 2 on and 1 out with the A's leading by 1. Houston Street reading Kendall. And here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, bounce to short, might be 2. Crosby flips second 1. Relay, Scudero high, throws it away. Now ricochets off the fence. Scoring is Adams. Out at second was Gross. Safe at first as well. And the ball game is tied up at 7-7. After hitting Hillenbrand, Street was able to retire the side as Hill flied out to right center as Swisher made a running catch. And the ball game was 7-7 going into the 10th inning. Nobody scored in the 10th. The A's would rally in the 11th. Miguel Batista, the closer for Toronto, was on as Batista had taken care of the Athletics in the 10th inning, but not so in the 11th as Mark Kotsay led off with a single. Bobby Crosby single. Chavez hit one the other way. Gross almost made a great catch leaping up against the wall in left field, but Kotsay had to hold thinking the ball might be caught. And so the A's had the bases loaded in a 7-7 tie with nobody out in the 11th inning, and Hatteberg was the next hitter. And now, with the bases loaded and a 1-2 count, here's the pitch. Swung on, bounced to the hole, threw into right, base hit. 1 run is in. Crosby's around third. Here's the throw by Johnson. The tag, the slide, safe at the plate. All the way to third is Chavez. Hatterberg singles to right, and now it's 9-7 Athletics. First and third looking for more, but Kelty popped out. Dan Johnson struck out. Nick Swisher was up with 2 on and 2 away.
And right now it's going to take a base hit or a mistake by the Blue Jays for the A's to score the third run.
Nick Swisher has 2 hits. Batting left against Batista. And the Toronto closer with a pitch. Ripped down the right field line. That'll get it done, Ray. And that goes to the wall. Chavez will score. Here's Hatterberg to third. They're going to hold him there on a double down the right field line by Nick Swisher as the A's reach double figures. 10-7 Athletics.
Have a night, Swish. 2 doubles and a solo home run. And this one probably the biggest right here. And John Gibbons going to the mound slowly.
Justin Duxer came on for the A's, worked the 10th inning, got 2 strikeouts, and gave up a base hit. He was on in the 11th when Russ Adams led off with a single. Toronto looked like they were going to have a chance to bring the tying run to the plate when Gross hit a short little shot into center field. Kotsay short off the ball, but was able to get a force play on an 8-6 play at second base on Adams. And after Vernon Wells was retired, Hillenbrand was the last chance for Toronto. Set, here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball to third. To his left, Chavez smothers it. He gets up, he throws, he got him, and the A's in game number 82 this year reach the 500 mark, and they come pouring out of the dugout. 3 hours and 41 minutes after this ball game began, the A's in the bottom of the 11th close it off with Justin Duxer, the A's newest All-Star, getting the win as the A's beat Toronto by the final of 10-7. And Ray Fosse will have the scoreboard when the A's